Good evening to all of you. It's always good to be able to be with you and to celebrate as your fellow disciple and as your spiritual father. As you probably know, October is Respect Life Month. And I love to be a cheerleader. I love to embrace the good and to celebrate it. And I wish that I could just come up here and pat us all on the back, joyfully proclaiming that the culture of life has won and that our society values human life from conception to natural death. I want to say that. I wish that older persons or those with terminal illnesses never felt tempted to end their lives because they thought they were a burden or that there was no value or grace in suffering. I wish that no unborn children or their mothers would be in danger of abortion. I wish that no mothers or fathers in a crowd would have to experience the brokenness and scarring that comes from the tragedy of abortion. I want to celebrate that. But that's not really our reality. Euthanasia is legal in more and more places. Preborn children are not protected. And many mothers and fathers are scarred after being lied to that abortion would be a good solution for them. Friends, if you are in this category, if you have been broken and been weighed down by the aftermath of a tragic decision for abortion, please know God loves you. Jesus wants to forgive you. None of the hard truths that might be stated in this homily or any homily or brochure or article or debate change the fact that Jesus Christ wants to embrace you and heal you because he loves you immensely. And as your pastor, spiritual father, I love you too. And I know that my fellow priests and I would always be ready and willing to be God's instrument to show you his very real mercy. Because I love all of you as a spiritual father, sometimes fathers have to say difficult things. Please know that difficult things come from a place of love. Although we cannot claim victory for the culture of life, there may be some signs of hope. A growing number of people, including young people, agree that abortion should never be an answer. Many crisis pregnancy centers are open across the country. More attention is being given to foster care and adoption. And after 47 years of Roe versus Wade, after 65 million abortions in America alone, there is a possibility that the Supreme Court might have enough judges to recognize that it is preposterous to think that the Constitution gives a right to abortion. But you and I here in Kansas have to recognize a very sobering reality. Although there is a possibility that Roe versus Wade could be overturned on the national level, the issue then just reverts to the states. And this state now has one of the most extreme laws in favor of abortion. A year and a half ago, the Kansas State Supreme Court declared in the abortion case Hodes and Hauser versus Schmidt that the Kansas Constitution, specifically its claim that all have inalienable natural rights, among which are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, somehow, therefore includes a right to abortion. This means that even common sense laws, like parental notification for minors seeking an abortion, a 24-hour waiting period, and the requirement for clinics to have admitting rights at a hospital have now lost their constitutional grounding with the state Supreme Court. This makes us even more extremely permissive than states like New York. There were efforts to pass a bill called Value Them Both, the them being both mothers and their preborn children, which would have allowed Kansas citizens to vote on an amendment to the Kansas Constitution that merely states that the Constitution includes no right to an abortion. It would not make abortion illegal, but would just undo the preposterous claim by the Supreme Court that a right to life and liberty means a right to end life. This bill should have easily passed, and the people of Kansas should have had the opportunity to vote, but it didn't pass because too many state legislators stood in the way. Because of the real possibility that the legality of abortion could be back in the hands of the states, we must ensure that we have a legislature that gives Kansans the right to vote for what is already obviously true. Our state constitution does not include such a right. With the election approaching, the Kansas bishops have declared that this is the #1 priority in our state right now. So we as responsible Catholics must form our consciences and make sure that when we vote, we would only support those who would support such an amendment. It's just too critical. Now, why does the church talk about this issue so much? Why can't we move on? Aren't there more important issues? Isn't it moving in a way to focus on other things? I want to respond with 3 quotes. I'm not a quoter, but I'm going to quote today. Human life must always be defended from its beginning in the womb and must be recognized as a gift of God that guarantees the future of humanity. Second, the right to life is the first human right. Abortion is killing someone that cannot defend him or herself. Third, defend the unborn against abortion, even if they persecute you, calumniate you, set traps for you, take you to court, or kill you. Who do you think said these? An old, stodgy politician? An evangelical preacher? Nope. Pope Francis. Even with his vision for the church to engage in all sorts of various socially concerning issues, abortion is for him of primary importance. He verified that when he spoke with Archbishop Naumann and other bishops at a recent ad limina visit in Rome. In our gospel today, Jesus speaks of those who have been invited to the wedding banquet, to heaven, from the main roads. That's you and I. We have been invited, and we have been given a white garment for that banquet in our baptism. That white garment is a blessing, a huge blessing. But it is also a responsibility. And I think one of the reasons why the church keeps pushing this issue is because we as Catholics have not taken that responsibility seriously. The issue could be behind us. Could never have really been an issue at all if we as Catholics realize the power that we have in the world. We are 20% of the population here in the United States, which doesn't seem like much, but it's actually a lot. What if we use that power? What if Catholic universities, instead of being just like every other university and accepting all ideas as equal to the truth, instead continued to preach the truth? Their graduate might be better formed. What if Catholic law schools, instead of teaching whatever philosophy is in vogue, formed their students in natural law? Our lawyers, and more important, our judges, would see that natural law protects the dignity of life from conception to natural death? What if we as Catholics were more willing to focus on supporting adoptive and foster families, or even become one ourselves? What if Catholics gave more help to crisis pregnancy centers? What if Catholics worked to bring healing to those scarred by abortion? What if Catholics always presented the truth with love? Remember, we're 20%. So what if Catholics, most importantly, what if we worked to change political platforms that enshrine abortion? What if we stopped giving politicians a free pass, looking the other way? And what if, I think most importantly, we stopped letting Catholic politicians that tout their faith and actively and very publicly support abortion up to birth and forcing taxpayers to fund those abortions? What if we stopped giving them a free pass? It's on us, Catholics. That's why the church keeps preaching this. We are 20% of the population. If that whole 20% actually formed its conscience with the church in the truth of Jesus Christ, no party, no politician would ever dare to support abortion. It would not be legal. And then we could have real dialogue about all those other things that are on everyone's heart. But as long as we allow that to be the most lethal elephant in the room, we can't truly address any other issue with a clean, focused, and God-driven conscience. We can't. And the last 47 years have proven that. Friends, I want one day to be able to get up here and pat all of us on the back and say, finally, we as Catholics have stepped up and done what we were made to do, what our white garment pushes us to do. We're not there yet. But friends, we're a family, we're a people of hope. And I'm a pastor of hope. And I hope you are people of hope. Hope and recognition that God's truth is always worth following, no matter how hard. And that, because God is behind us, and because we are a people of hope, indeed, one day, the culture of life will be victorious.